Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me again. Thank you to all my subscribers who have been so motivating. You've been writing in, you've been talking about the various things that we have discussed in the past. Well, go grab your coffee because today we're going to talk about one of the world's favorite topics. Can you guess what it is? Of course you can. Happiness. That's what our topic is about today. We're going to go into what happiness is. Since I've extensively read on this subject, and basically I've read a lot on the mind, the subconscious mind, and the working, and why we behave in the way we behave. And happiness, well, I think happiness is something that we are pursuing and we are running after all the time, and it is eluding us. Once you grab something, it gives you a little sense of happiness for some time, and then it just slips away. I said that in my last video as well, whether it's something material or whatever it is. All right, now happiness is a science. Yes, you heard it right. It is a science, just like any other science. It is logical, it has reasoning. So if you really want to be happy, you can follow some steps, and can you believe it, you can be happy 24/7. I have made a few notes here, having picked up stuff from various books, from various writers, ideas, as well as surveys that have been held across the world on this topic, happiness. So Aristotle said, I think about 2000 years ago, he said, happiness is the meaning, purpose, aim, and end of existence. So all these wise men had done a lot of research within themselves before having come to conclusions about such stuff like happiness. Now let's begin with the happiest country in the world. Yes, there is a country where the people are the happiest. You see, the United Nations, publishes a happiness report. It's called the HIR, the Happiness Index Report. It publishes it every year, and it ranks the different countries as per their happiness. How happy they are. And so today we're going to talk about the 10 top countries, the 10 top in the happiness index. So let's see the results. Let's begin I'm going to start with number 10. So, progress to number 1. So the country at number 10 is Austria. Austria, this beautiful little country in the middle of Europe. Capital is Vienna. It's known for its beautiful Alps. Number 9 comes Canada. Now, I personally was very happy in Canada. I recently was there and I just returned, and I can actually say that, yeah, Canada will make you extremely happy because of the various reasons, which of course we are going to go into very soon, despite the inclement weather. So at number 9 is Canada. You all know where Canada is. The north, just it's a neighboring country of the United States. At number 8 is New Zealand. New Zealand, this little island just next to Australia. Capital is Wellington. It comes at number 8. Now number 7 is Sweden. Sweden, again, a European country. This is a Scandinavian country. Now, it's very sad that, my students in India, they didn't really know the world map. So whenever I was in class, I would just draw the world map. Having done my schooling in the University of Cambridge, things were taught very practically to us. So I know the world by heart. Like you ask me, any country, any capital, most of them, rivers, it's as clear as the back of my hand. So that's why I talk about it. So at number 7 was Sweden. Sweden, as I said, is part of Scandinavia. Now Scandinavia this is the 4 European countries, Denmark, Finland, Sweden, and Finland. These are the 4 Scandinavian countries. So number 7, Sweden, capital is Stockholm. Now number 6, if we were sitting, interacting, I would have asked you to guess. Number 6 is Switzerland. Now people say it's very, very beautiful. Of course, it's very beautiful. Switzerland is famous for its watches, and it is also famous for its Swiss banks. You must have heard of Swiss banks. They keep your accounts secretive. So no matter how much money you have stashed away there, nobody will come to know. That's why a lot of very, very wealthy people have their accounts there. At number 5 is Netherlands. It's also called Holland. Capital is Amsterdam. Very beautiful country again. European country. At number 4 is Iceland. At number 3 is another Scandinavian country, Norway. Capital is Oslo. Number 2 is Denmark. Scandinavian. Capital is Copenhagen. And can you guess number 1? Number 1, girls and boys and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, at number 1 is Finland. Now Finland, capital is Helsinki. This little Scandinavian country to the north east of Europe, it comes at number 1. So the world's happiest people live in Finland. Now let's get into the reasons of why Finland is the happiest country. Maybe we could imbibe something, maybe even we could be happy and learn to be happy and learn to remain happy all the time. I'm not going to talk about India's ranking. It's not it's quite dismal. So let's go to Finland. Now, why are the people of Finland, they're called Finnish, why are they so happy? Let me tell you, it's of course not the most wealthy country in the world, nor is it the most powerful, yet the people of Finland are very, very happy. You know the reason? The first reason that I read about so extensively, and I can talk about it for hours, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you in brief. It's their basic philosophy of Sisu, S-I-S-U. Now, I know you might not have heard of this word, and it is not even, they say it is not even translatable. That means you cannot even translate it because there is no equivalent in English. Now, Sisu literally means perseverance or, fortitude or bravery or strength, whatever you'd like to call it, It means courage against all odds. That means you keep your strength, you keep your fortitude, your determination high, even when, there is hostility, even when things are not so good. So that is Sisu. Sisu, they say, is the soul of Finland. It is the soul of the people of Finland. You have to have an attitude of, Sisu in Finland. That's what makes you relentless against all odds. So come what may, whatever be the circumstances, let me tell you, the weather also of Finland is extremely, inclement. It's not a very friendly weather. But the people, they have decided to stay determined and decided to, remain balanced and calm all the time. Now, Sisu is something that we all need, because we have all seen distress calls in our lives. We have all seen times in our lives when, things are not so good, when you need to harness all your strength and all your energy and you need to take it all out. Things when there are moments of, you get those calls of, somebody's in the hospital or somebody's, wants oxygen, we've seen recently, and you suddenly don't know what to do, or, somebody needs surgery, or there's an emergency or a tragedy, any such thing. You need to harness all your energy. And at that time, our energy usually seeps out. We really don't know what to do. Most of the time, we kind of collapse. So Sisu is the attitude we need to imbibe. And very surprisingly, and I was really amazed to see that, the Sisu-like attitude, the pointers, they have a good parallel in our own scriptures, in our own sense of jo hum dhyan karte hain, uske andar they have, this parallel, because Sisu, the pointers tell us that you need to be truly disconnected. That's number 1. Number 2 is you need to embrace silence. You need to have that, schedule alone time. And number 4, very, very important, you need to be with nature. And this is what our rishis and munis did. And they gave us a legacy of values, of how to live life. They also sat in silence for, hours and days and months together. And that's why we got those sacrosanct scriptures, which are even today giving us the way to live. All right, so that was about their philosophy of Sisu, which they say is the soul of Finland. Let's go to the other factors which, make Finland the happiest country in the world. The second factor is their culture of not complaining, of not playing the blame game. So it's in their culture not to complain about things, but just to move on and try to do something about it rather than complaining about it. They also have a culture of not lying and being very, very punctual. The next factor for their happiness is that they love to, the Finnish people love to spend time with nature as against screens. Because when you spend so much time on the screen, you miss out on life's greatest moments. And when you're with nature, the rustling of the leaves, when the wind passes through the trees, the twittering of the birds, when the river sings a song, and when the birds twitter, the calming effect that it has on you, it takes away all your stress. It teaches you how to, get away from anger. It teaches you how to control your emotions and your sentiments. And this is what the people of Finland love to do. They love to be with nature, despite, again, as I said, the inclement weather. The next pointer is they focus more on cooperation rather than on competition. They do not like to flaunt their wealth. A wealthy person in Finland would rather drive an old Volvo and not a Lamborghini. This is their culture, and that's what makes them happy. So that was about Finland. Now let's go on to some other general factors that give you happiness. Now at number 1, of course, something that the whole world is obsessed with is money and wealth. Now the question, does money give you happiness? Now this is a long debated question. It has always been debated. There are various, hundreds and thousands of surveys on this, various studies, and people have different opinions. But there is some research of which there are, evidence, of which there is evidence and there is conclusions. So this is what we're going to discuss. First of all, money can buy you, I wouldn't really say happiness, but it can give you comforts. Happiness, up to a certain extent, it can make you temporarily happy. It can give you comforts, it can give you a good home, it can give you nutrition, it can give you leisure, it can give you, medical aid, and it can give you safety. So if you have money stashed away in your bank, you are secure, mentally secure. And if you have money, you can easily go and buy whatever you wish to. You don't have to think twice. Of course, it is a great comfort. It gives you a comfortable way to live so that you don't stress and worry over the little things of life. You don't stress over the little things of life. But is that the real happiness? Does it give you real happiness? I talked about it in my last video as well, that once you have got your prized possession, whether it's a new car or a new house, it excites you for a few days. After that, it's like any other stuff that you have. So acquiring stuff, it does not really give you happiness. It may give you thrill and it may give you excitement. But that true joy, the true sense of satisfaction and contentment, that, friends, is somewhere else. And we're going to discuss about it. We're going to talk at the end of this video about the permanent happiness, that will remain with you 24/7. All right, now next on the agenda, the factor is traveling. Now, does traveling give you happiness? Science says traveling is the secret to happiness. Now, what really happens? What do you get when you travel? The first thing that you get is experience. Now, this experience and this cheer, this joy that you get far outweighs the happiness that you get from buying and accumulating and acquiring stuff. That is for sure. Number two is self-confidence. You become very confident, when you travel, because you have to make so many decisions. Apart from that, it teaches you to introspect, because you most of the time when you're looking out of the window, whether it's a flight or a train or a bus or whatever it is, you're just sitting with yourself. And there's nothing much to do except to go within and introspect. So it teaches you, it's kind of self-discovery. Now, traveling leads to good relationships. How? Because when you're traveling with your family, you bond a lot. Because all the time you're helping each other, you're not really fighting. You can't fight in a flight or a train. So you are bonding all the time. And as such, you become very, very compatible. And of course, traveling also gives you good memories. And globetrotters are known to be very, very adaptive, because they have been on different roads, they have been on different, in different hotels, and they have seen the best of places and the worst of experiences. All right. Now, let's come to the next factor that gives you happiness. The next one that I have on the list is activity and exercise. Does activity, being active, being and exercising, does it give you happiness? Well, an analysis of 36 studies have found that there is a strong relationship between physical activity and mental well-being and the happiness of a person. Now, you all know that when you exercise, your BP is controlled, your sugar levels are controlled, your metabolism goes up, you burn calories, you burn everything that you have consumed, you control your weight, it gets less heavy on your joints, and of course it gives you a sense of self-esteem. When you feel more fit, then being fit is associated with happiness, because you have that sense of control over your body. You're not like a couch potato sitting here and there. So this is a big factor to health. Now, there was a study in Canada of 1,700 adults, and this revealed that people who exercise regularly have more control over their emotions, over their sentiments, and they have much less chance of a cardiovascular event. So exercise, yeah, sure, leads to happiness. Now, when you are happy, then you are healthier. And when you are healthier, then you are happy. So it's both ways, healthy people are happy and happy people are healthy. Haven't you seen grumpy people always talking about their aches and pains? Sorry to say, but maybe they should exercise. I think exercise is, for me, it's as important as breathing. Once you get into this habit of putting on your sneakers early in the morning and moving out, I think it's one of the best things that happens to you. It's the best way to kickstart your day. Your energy levels rise. I'm not going to talk about the chemicals that it releases, the endorphins and all that. I'm not going to go into those details, but it does give you a kind of high. You kickstart your day so well and you feel happy, more energized, and you will remain happy and energized throughout the day once you start exercising. So laughter is the best medicine after all. Now, coming to the next very, very important factor. Can you guess what that is? Relationships. Now, what is the relationship between relationships and happiness. It's got, you know, a huge association. Now I'm going to talk about the longest study on happiness. You can of course check all these details out on Google. I'm going to talk today about the longest study on happiness. This was done by the Harvard University, and the goal was to observe people for 75 years. Can you believe it? 75 years research on the same set of people. And these people were monitored after, I think, every 2 years on how they were doing on the home front, on their relationships, on their health, and so on and so forth. And this, you know, most of such studies would just fizzle out in in a decade or something. But fortunately, this went on till the end. Can you believe it? One of the participants, one of the participants even became the President of the United States of America. So it was eventually found that in this in-depth study revealed that good relationships are the key to great happiness. Good relationships. So because when you have a good relationship, then you feel very secure. When you are socially connected, you know, you really have a feeling of happiness, because loneliness kills you. And you can be lonely even in a party. You can even be lonely in a marriage. You can be lonely in a crowd. So if you are really got a good connect with your partner or your family members, remember, this is the key to happiness. And this has to be built. This needs efforts. Being happy with your partner, because no one is perfect. No one is perfect. So you got to overlook those imperfections and move ahead. One trick is to not react. And I'm not going to go into all those, you know, tricks on how to have a good relationship with your partner. But yeah, not to react and just, you know, remain calm when, you know, the arguments get tough. I think that would be one. So good relationships make you very, very happy. Now, I'm not going to miss out the most important thing that comes to my mind as far as happiness is concerned. And I'm going to now talk about permanent happiness, because the kind of happiness that we were talking about so far, that was, you know, I wouldn't like to call it temporary, but yeah, fleeting kind of happiness. Now we're going to talk about the permanent kind of happiness. Now, what is the permanent kind of happiness and how can we get it? Number one, can we get it? Answer is yes. And how can we get it? We're going to go into it. Remember, we have a legacy of scriptures, those sacrosanct scriptures, Ved, Puran, Upanishad, Vedant, all those give us this wealth. And I'm going to go into it. Now, this word meditation. Now, this word meditation conjures up different images for different people. Some people think that meditation is for the old. Others, meditation is boring. For others, I don't have time for meditation. For others, meditation is a chore. One more job added to my various jobs that I have to do. Let me tell you, friends, it's none of these. None of these. You are sadly mistaken if you think that meditation is this. And how many kinds of meditation are there? I think I've heard of about 10 kinds of meditation. I've heard of, you know, Vipassana meditation, guided meditation, mindful meditation, Zen meditation, walking meditation, breath meditation, transcendental meditation, and recently I've even read about, you know, something called a metta meditation. So first of all, why should you meditate? And what kind of meditation should you do? And why should you meditate? Okay, let's go into it. My favorite topic. If you want to find that happiness beyond everything else, beyond the world, beyond anything that you have seen, then you have to get within. Go within. Just sit with yourself in the silence. Get into the silent zone of your mind. And one by one, the layers will be removed. The conscious layers, the subconscious layers of the mind will be removed. All the stored memories will come up, and gradually they'll start fading away. They will stop giving you pain. And finally, within a cave within your heart, you will find your true self. I don't know what you want to call it. You can call it the universe, because the universe is within you. You can call it Om. You can call it Ikumkar. You can call it the truth. It's called Akshar. It's got many names. And you don't have to call it anything, because it's formless. It's infinite. It does not have a name. It is beyond something that you can even imagine. Only you have to feel it. Because once you feel it, maybe even feeling is a wrong word. Once you get to one with it, it's even called Anhad Nad. Once you get to one with it, then you will stop looking for happiness anywhere else, because then you will have attained that ultimate happiness. And then you will realize that the world is really an illusion, and that is true happiness. It is beyond anything that you have ever imagined. And again, back to the same question, which kind of meditation should you be doing? Well, forget about all the names. Forget about any kind of authority on meditation. I should not be teaching you how to meditate. In fact, nobody should teach you how to meditate. This is what J. Krishnamurti left for us. This is what he said. He said there should be no authority, because if somebody is teaching you how to meditate, whether it's guided or it's vipassana, whatever it is, then it's not meditation. This is called imitation. You're copying somebody. You're following somebody. So meditation, self-realization, is about realizing yourself, not what somebody else teaches you. For learning, there are schools, there are colleges, they are coaching, all these people are there to teach you, but nobody can teach you about your own self. I can only tell you that you will find it in the silence of your mind, and sure you will find it, because Tattvamasi, that thou art. This is one of the Mahavakyas of the Upanishads. Tattvamasi, that which you are. And Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Brahman. Because you and the Brahman are one. There is no duality. Advait Vedanta. There is no duality. The universe and you are one. There is no difference. You will get to know that. You have to experience it yourself. Be happy, friends. See you in my next video. Bye.